dumb?
What? Doc, get to the tower! The sun is setting! There he is! Doc, get to the tower! Can't hit him! Where you see right there! Doc, you got company! Hit him! I'm trying! Where'd he go?
Hold for it, baby. Hold for it. Yes. Yes, we made it. Oh, no. Oh, not again. Hey, Doc. That's a lot. Got it? Got it. Doc, thank you.
Well, Jack, once again, I'm the
Good evening and welcome to the Early Late Night Live Show. On the show last week, our audience and hosts alike expressed their enjoyment of hearing me go through a rant about things I didn't like in the category of food. Now, we are not a food show, we are a film and entertainment show. But uncoincidentally, I tried a new type of food that has touched me so deeply to the core that I not only called my sister to talk about it, she didn't answer, I called my mom, my dad, and I talked to 3 separate people about it at work. This had quite an effect on me. I'm an adventurous type guy, almost always up for trying something new. So when the shortage of beef happened, I decided to try some of this new plant-based meat that I've been hearing about. So after work, I popped over to the store, picked up some of the stuff aptly called Beyond Beef, and I also picked up real beef to do a side-by-side comparison. Beyond Beef is a good name for it, because whatever it tastes like is way beyond what it was intended to be. This was truly the most horrible tasting thing I've ever tasted in my entire life. It was in fact so bad that I wasn't even able to finish the first bite. This was way beyond meat. Matter of fact, it resembled what I imagine beef tastes like once it goes beyond your nether regions. This was truly the worst flavor I have ever put into my mouth, this coming from a man who lived on the west side of Manchester for 2 years. I can't believe my level of contempt and hatred I have for this product. I threw it immediately away, but honestly felt like I was mistreating my garbage can by placing such a wretched item within the confines of its Rubbermaid walls. I had cooked this indigestible digestive up to the exact same way as I had cooked the real meat, utilizing the same ingredients and cooking methods for them both, though one ended up in the garbage and the other one ended up in a place that shall not be named. After biting into this piece of man-made horror, it made me realize that if the Donner Party had had this in their rucksack, the story would have still ended the same way. How bad could a product be that makes you look at the garnish that is kale and go, I can get behind that? Seriously, tofu is much more delectable prospect now. I couldn't even get the taste out of my mouth, making me wonder to God why I ever gave up drinking, because 110 proof wild turkey, which is basically more than 50% rubbing alcohol, could be the only thing to properly burn the sensation from my throat. It is now ingrained in my brain like a PTSD trauma. I cleaned my griddle for 30 minutes trying to get the smell to go away, and if I can't do that, I'm going to have to put it down like a lame horse. I'd give it honors, I'd give it a salute, then I'd give it both barrels. So my word to those of you terrible excuses for human beings who created this bag of depression and revulsion, I'd rather be dragged naked, covered in oil, lit on fire across a field of rusty barbed wire, used needles while having every hair in my body, of which there is a lot, being individually plucked out by a group of rather peed off pigeons than to ever have anything to do with your product. I'd rather snort whole leaf kale or get a carrot enema. It's hard enough being a vegetarian and a vegan than having to suffer through this type of crap. Though in all honesty, this is a marvel of science. How did you make vegetables taste worse? Maybe I seem a little angry. Well, it's because from here on out, every single vegetarian or vegan who tells me about the replacement product being just as good as the original will always have me thinking they have been had. Now, usually I have a problem throwing away meat because something died for me to eat, and it seems like a waste of that life. Now, since this alien life form is not truly meat, I felt fine throwing it away because nothing died. To be honest, at this point, though, I wasn't even sure about that. Most of my desire for adventure, general appetite, and trust in the science community as a whole took quite a trouncing yesterday, and unlike the economy, rubber balls, and Rocky, I don't think I'm getting back up from this. So if I ever become a vegetarian, I'm probably just going to munch on some celery till the men in white coats take me away. It's the Early Late Night Live Show, everyone, and just roll the opening credits. Welcome back to the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Please, please, please hit that thumbs up. Hello to Bob Turanjo, singing hairdresser. Hi, guys. Hey, if you're a singer, you ought to be on this show. That's all I'm going to say. So send us an email at Killarney@narrowstreetfilms.com. We'll put the email address in there. But sitting with me always, unfortunately, is my sister KJ, who didn't answer the phone yesterday when I was in need of counsel.
I think I got it with both barrels today.
Yes. And because she just can't get enough of us and she loves us very much, Kate Eppers.
Hello again.
Hi.
Yes.
And our special guest for tonight, Dan Pelletier, his segment is going to be up next. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing pretty well.
All right. So, I don't know if you watched the show at all, but last week I went on a bit of a rant about boneless chicken wings not actually being chicken. They're just chicken fingers, and people have to grow up and call them what they are, children's food. That and decaf coffee being useless, and soup is pretty much just depression in a bowl, and nobody really likes it, Now, all that being said...
This is not actually a food show.
This is not actually a food show. That is very true. I've tried the Impossible Burger, and the Impossible Burger tastes like a crappy Burger King burger because all Burger King burgers taste like crap. But it didn't taste horrible. This seriously was the most wretched thing I have ever experienced in my entire life, and I'm not exaggerating anything I said in that. It was awful. Tim Tripp says, so, no fake meat, no sense of adventure. Yes. Yes. No fake meat and no sense of adventure. Yeah, it was, yes. God, that stuff was horrible. I usually don't call it my mom to rant about things because I'm not a 25 anymore. Like, I ranted for a long time, but that's,
But did you say you called your mom, like you tried your sister first, then you called your mom, or you called your mom, she didn't pick up?
I called Arnie first, she didn't answer.
Oh, okay.
I called my mom, she didn't answer, and I called my dad, he answered, okay? And
you called Dad?
Yes, he said, makes sense, is basically what he said. He said, this too shall pass. That's what I was afraid of, actually, was this stuff passing, And so, yes, then my mom called me back, and I just went to town on how horrible this stuff is. So Beyond Meat, it's not even close to meat. Like, there was nothing about it that was like meat. It's sort of like saying, I'm going to make a car, okay? And this is what my car looks like. It looks like a belt, all right? But we're going to put little wings on it so it flies like a car. None of that makes sense. None of it makes sense. That's what this was. This stuff was just total, utter crap. So...
I think that's part of the problem is you can't, these people saying that it tastes the same, it's like, no, it's a whole different, because I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, but I actually eat a lot of vegetarian and vegan meals, and I do crazy like substitutes, and I try to make healthy versions or meatless versions or sugarless versions of desserts and food, but I never pretend that it tastes the same. It might be delicious, well, to me, but it doesn't, I'm never going to say pretend it's chicken.
It's not the same thing. It's like, this was just horrible. Anyways, I literally have like the taste burned into my mind, and it's going to take me like therapy to get this out of my head. I hate this stuff. But let's turn over to something that I like, the trailer trash. It's our favorite segment of the show, so I put it at the beginning to get it over with. All right, Arnie, what's the first trailer we have up?
It's called The King of Staten Island.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, so this movie is coming out June 12th, or it was coming out June 12th. It's directed and written by Judd Apatow, and it stars Pete Davidson. And the write-up is, Scott has been a case of arrested development since his firefighter dad died. He spends his days smoking weed and dreaming of being a tattoo artist until events force him to grapple with his grief and take his first steps forward in life.
Yeah, I think you miss a lot of big actors in this. Yeah, like Marissa Tomei, Bill Burr, Steve Buscemi. Like, I hate to say this, little SNL boy. Steve Buscemi actually
really was a firefighter. So that was Steve Buscemi. He really was a firefighter. So.
Oh yeah, he supposedly helped during 9/11. Actually,
yeah.
I didn't help with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did miss a lot, but I was just reading from the screen.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to jump in really quick to this, make a kind of a quick review. Acting all around in this trailer and the look and the feel, I like the kind of moving camera bit, is spot on. At first I thought this was just a weed comedy, which I have no desire to watch, until I realized, till the second half of the trailer where it actually really got me, and it's really kind of about a character growing up. Mm-hmm. And the scene that I really liked, because it's something I really believe, is that, the world really does need heroes, and heroes really do exist. I that was from Steve Buscemi of all people to say a line like that, and that really hit me, that this is about someone realizing that there is such thing as being a good person and doing more than what you're capable of doing. Mm-hmm. I like Bill Burr, I like Steve Buscemi, I like Marissa Tomei, And this actor who usually just plays an idiot on SNL looks really good. The fight scene between him and Bill Burr when he throws him in the pool, I like that. You know, he says you're like 8 feet tall, you're not going to drown. So yeah, I didn't think I was going to like this trailer, and then I really started to like it. So, all right, Dan, what's your thoughts on this trailer?
I kind of shut down once I saw that it was starring Pete Davidson, and there was no redeeming, even though I do like everybody else in it. I dislike him that much.
Okay. Well,
you know, like, I get that he's playing a character that's supposed to be unlikable and then I'm assuming become likable, but I don't want to like Pete Davidson.
Okay.
You're not alone, actually, because Mike Place commented on our post on Facebook saying we all have those actors we just can't stand no matter what they play. Mine is Pete.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
I don't even know if it's so much as acting, just like things when I've seen him as a human, I'm like, I don't want you to make money. That's just kind of where I'm at with him.
Wow, why don't you tell us how you really feel? Okay, Kate Eppers, your thoughts on this trailer?
I was confused at first, and I don't know who this Pete person is. I didn't even know. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since the Will Ferrell days, and I think it was really great for a run and after that, I don't find it funny at all. I've tried. I think it's awful, but so I don't know who this actor is. But I'm watching it. I thought it was a total drama until the Wallflowers started playing, and then I got really confused. And I'm like, "Is this like a dramedy? Is this And then they're all singing to the Wallflowers song, and I'm really extra confused. But then I saw Marissa Tomei, who I like, and Steve Buscemi, and I didn't know Bill Burr is in it, but he's awesome. And so, yeah, it looks like it could be interesting.
I do feel like Bill Burr playing a New Yorker is sort of sacrilegious, but I'm going to move on with that.
Yeah.
All right, Arnie, your thoughts on this trailer?
So I'm kind of with you on I saw Pete Davidson was in it. I just assumed it was going to be stupid and I would not want to watch it. But I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, wow, this movie actually looks really good. Like, I actually want to see this. So then I went onto the IMDb page and I saw it's 2 hours and 16 minutes long. And I'm like, that's at least an hour more of Pete Davidson than I need. It looks really good. I'm not sure I'm actually going to end up seeing it, but I was very surprised by how much I was actually rooting for the character by the time I was done. Like, stop, right. Loser.
Hello, Teresa Boudreau, and hello, Steve Lomer. Arnie, what's your rating on this?
I'm going to give it a 3.5 because I was really surprised by it.
All right, Dan, I can guess, but what is your rating on this?
I'm gonna sit this one out for the sake of Pete Davidson's feelings.
Come on, you gotta give a rating.
No, I would not. I would not go see this movie under any
you gotta give it 2 thumbs in the eye. Is that what you're
gonna do? Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Okay, Kate Eppers.
Yeah, I'll do it with my hand to screen. I'll do the same thing as Arnie. It looks interesting, sort of.
All right.
I'm gonna mirror that. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next trailer. Arnie, what do we got coming up?
All right. So this movie is called Unhinged. And no, it's not about Terry eating a meatless burger.
Or somebody puts a cup of soup in front of him and then unhinged.
All right, so this movie...
I feel Russell Crowe's rage in this.
Can we play that trailer? But anyway, so Unhinged is a psychological thriller that takes something we've all experienced, road rage, to an unpredictable and terrifying conclusion. It's directed by Derek Bort, I think, or Borte. And it's written by Carl Ellsworth, and it stars Russell Crowe, which I think is Terry's favorite actor on like the whole in the planet. So
he is, I think he is one of the best actors of all time because he can play a good guy, he can play a bad guy, he can play a nerd, he can play a simpleton. He can play the most badass person on the planet, and he could be the guy who could get his ass kicked like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And so,
have you seen? You didn't see Les Miserables, where he played a singing French.
I absolutely saw Les Miserables, and I loved him in it. He was awesome. You know, he's the only guy that can take operatic singing and go, "I'm scared of this dude." When he says they will wet themselves with blood, it's like I believe it. I'm like, pretty sure I gotta check my pants after this screening. So yeah, all right. Arnie, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, my first thought was, why aren't they just calling the police, or why isn't this woman driving to a police station? So it's an interesting premise. I don't see how they can keep it up for an entire movie, right. Because I just don't see why they wouldn't just do something practical. Like I said, like going to the police. They certainly have plenty of evidence that he's crazy at this point. I should probably read. We had a bunch of people comment on this post too, so I'm just going to read those really quick.
Right.
Jackie Kernander said that this is a whole lot of nope for me. Mitch Fortier said this trailer caught me by surprise, and I want to see this movie. Plus, Russell Crowe needs to lay off the donuts, which I think is a little personal. And he might be paying a visit to Mitch's house. Anyway, Kate Ward said looks good. So,
All right. Well, so Kate, what's your thoughts on this trailer?
Well, I first started watching it and I got sucked in because I realized I really do love suspense and the drama of it. But then I'm just thinking, I mean, this is just a little bit too close to home. I mean, if I'm from the Boston area, I mean, have you ever driven to work in Boston or in Massachusetts? I mean, this happened to me every single day of my life. I'm like, I can completely identify with this, with psycho men and women screaming at me from the windows of their trucks and cars. So I can relate to this, and they're just going to the next level. What if I didn't go to work and I had a child and they followed me to everywhere? And then my boyfriend they found my boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, this movie, I can totally see this happening to me. So.
All right, Dan Pelletier, your thoughts?
I hate to keep sounding negative, but I thought this was one of those fake trailers from the beginning of Tropic Thunder. That being said, though, I would watch this movie, but I wouldn't pay money to watch it. If it was on like Netflix, I could see this being a good movie on like a Thursday night, got nothing to do, eat some popcorn. Like, I think it's going to be, it looks like it's going to like be trying so hard to be this like serious thriller. And I think it's just going to be a whole lot of fun for reasons that it's not supposed to be fun.
This is going to be an interesting interview with you. Okay.
I like Russell Crowe, though. I will say that. But it just looks like Road Rage the movie. But it sounds like like an unintentional comedy.
I have to agree.
Real quick says, Tim Tripp says, we all just need to see what comes out in the outdoor theaters and take a Saturday night and get out. Amen to that, brother. Amen.
Yeah, this would be a
Bob
good drive.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bob Turner says, Duel Revisited, where the driver has a face. All right. Well, my thoughts on this trailer is I like suspense thrillers, but I feel like there's a lot more to this film than they're showing. And I think you see Russell Crowe doing a lot of dangerous stuff, but not too often do you see him attacking her directly. So I'm curious if there's another element to the story. Not only that, there's a moment in the very beginning of the trailer where you felt like this guy has just gone through a real bad day. And like genuinely felt that you felt bad for him, And so there's a lot going on in this trailer. I really liked it. And it's just grabbed me and thinking this is going to be an intense film no matter what. That's how I feel about it. So, Arnie, your rating?
A total meh. Like I said, I just watched this and like, just go to the police. Don't do it.
All right. Arguable point. You have to watch it to find out. But hey, that's just me trying to sell this film. Kate Eppers?
I'll do the
all right.
It looks, again, kind of like Dan. I'm not going to go see it in the theater, but I would be interested to watch it if it was on Amazon Prime or something.
All right. Dan?
Yeah, I'll go like half a thumb up. Like, yeah, if it was on, I'd watch it.
You got to do something the other thumb. You got two, right?
Can I cut one off so I only get to use one?
Well, no, you like thumb down or like this. I shouldn't have to teach you this.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, just half a thumb. As this, like, although I think, I think it'd be fun as like the second movie at the drive-ins, like the movie I wanted to see was done, and then I'm just going to eat popcorn till I pass out. I'd go watch
that.
That
works, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
All right, 2 thumbs up for me. I'm really intrigued by this. Yeah, throws a wedding ring in the back seat. Looks like a love lost situation. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyways, we got to cut to break. When we come back, we're gonna have our interview with our special guest Dan Pelletier, who I'm pretty sure doesn't hate a lot of things when it comes to do with food like I do. Though he does hate some of these movies. So let's find out what other deep hatred of anger he has inside him. Or he probably just going to talk about his theater house. So anyways, let's move on. We'll be back.
What's going on? Oh, hey. We're starting a new show.
I'm hosting. So are we. I even wore my suit.
Yeah, we thought at this point it would be probably a little bit better to aim at a younger audience, so we hired Kate. And them.
Wait, them? Our names are them.
Shut up.
Except we won't talk sports, we're not gonna talk politics, just entertainment.
That's the same as my show.
Or not that original.
Get out.
Stay.
Terry, this is my show.
Want to keep your job?
You're fired.
What?
I'm here.
Show's canceled.
Welcome back to the Late Night Live Show. Cheers. We're on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98, on Berwick Channel something. I forgot what it was. And our YouTube channel, the Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Please make sure to smash that thumbs up, smash that like button, and smash that notification bell, and share with your friends and enemies alike because we need friends. Anyways, sitting with us is Dan Pelletier. He's the artistic director of the Q0 Theater Company. He has basically a home base at the Derry Opera House. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, the Derry Opera House was where we did our inaugural production. We were, until COVID-19, doing 75% of our shows there this year. We're a little nomadic. We kind of bounce around the greater Merrimack Valley. We've done some things at the Hat Box, done some things in Manchester. But yeah, I think at this point now, more often than not, our shows are at the Derry Opera House.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about your experience when it comes to theater.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a 2013 graduate of UNH's Department of Theater and Dance. Shortly after that, I decided all I wanted to do was direct. I didn't want to act. I didn't want to, be something else. And the best way to go into that seemed to be start my own theater group and just produce my own things until other people would hire me. So that's kind of how Q0 was born. It started in my parents' garage with a night of original one acts. So I wrote a play and directed it. A friend of mine wrote a play and directed it. We raised the money, rented the opera house, and put up the shows. And then we've just been kind of doing things here and there since summer 2014. But then last year we had our first multi-show season, and then this is our second multi-show season. Our big emphasis is on new. So we like taking risks. We like we try to do a lot of new work, working with local playwrights, and just really challenging ourselves. New and challenging would be the two pillars that we're built on.
Awesome. Now, if you were to have a favorite play in like the mainstream, what would you say it would be?
In the mainstream, my favorite show of all time is Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
Yeah, I love, I don't know, I'm a big, just goofy sci-fi, but then like it also has a lot of heart. It's realistically like a Greek tragedy set in, the 1960s with doo-wop, but then there's science fiction with this alien plant eating everyone. So I don't know, just everything about that show speaks to me on it checks every box of things that I like.
So really quick, I'm sorry to totally cut in, but we just have to make sure we let people know. Mitch Forty just said, just escaped from being chained in a dark basement. I only remember hearing a girl's voice say the show was mine, and now I see Kate is on my spot. Now he says that comment, and Kate disappears from the room. So I don't know what's going on right now. This is not planned. Hopefully Kate is going to come back at some point in time. So now you're trying to break a world record recently, weren't you?
Yeah. So we, unfortunately, we just decided to push this out to next summer. But the plan still is at some point in the future, Q0 will become the holders of the record for longest continuous theatrical marathon.
Wow. Wait a second. Theatrical marathon.
Yes.
So, are you putting on the longest play possible or longest sub?
So it's we will be. So the goal is that we will have something on stage at the Derry Opera House for 80 consecutive hours. We got it officially certified by Guinness, and they gave us some restrictions. So it'll be we're allowed 20 actors. So they'll be performing in like groups of 6 or 7. It will all be known plays, so we'll be doing mostly public domain. So we'll be like cutting some Shakespeare down, Greeks, Ibsen, Chekhov, things like that. And really,
well, you just did Hamlet in its entirety. That's pretty much 40 hours right there.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it'll be one show right after another. We're only allowed 2 minutes between scenes and 5 minutes between shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
Yeah, well, yeah, again, that's why we're going to hopefully be cycling the actors in and out. And luckily, we don't have to be memorized, so they will be script in hand. Otherwise, it'd be even more insanity. But yeah, so the hope is that we'll get 20 versatile actors that we can work in and out. I'm hoping to get a good amount of maybe some of the college students and things like that. And then there's some other unique challenges. Like for some reason, we always have to have 20 people in the audience, and things like that. Yeah, so it's. I mean, we're looking for a challenge. And we were also just looking to make some noise. So one of our members of our brain trust was like, we should try to break a world record. I think Recycled Percussion had just broken one. So it was in his mind. So we're like, okay, let's figure out what we could do. And, after he scoured the Guinness website for an hour, we came up with this one. We're like, yeah, we think we could do this one. And then as it continued to get closer and become a reality, I realized, how more and more like, holy crap, this is more than we probably thought it was going to be. There's just so much. Like, we thought it would be like, again, before we officially submitted, we thought we could have maybe 30 actors. So 3 groups of 10 sounded better. But then when they're 20, we're like, oh, that's a little tighter. And then when they put all these other restrictions, I'm like, okay, this is 100 people are going to need to be working on this show in some capacity between backstage.
What's the average length of a play? Average length.
I think when we're working with some older things, so anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours, as you said.
No, average length. What's the average length for you in your experience?
2.5 hours.
Okay, let's be generous and call it 4 hours.
Okay.
Now, 80 divided by 4, Arnie.
I think at math. I think that's 20, something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Huh?
2020 would sound right.
Yeah. Yeah. So 20 plays. That's nothing. I don't know what you guys are stressing out about.
20 plays.
I'm assuming you're not doing musicals.
No.
4-hour plays. It's got to be the same 20 people acting in it, right?
Right. So they don't have to be on stage the whole time. As I said, we could do say we did Oedipus Rex and there's 6 people in that. And then those 6 finish that, they get to go take a break and then we bring on 6 new people. Or I think what we were kind of leaning towards would be one group of 6 would do 3 plays in a row and then they would get 16 hours off. Something like that.
I admire you because I can see this just want to know they go do it. Now, does it have to be a Guinness World Record aficionado to make sure it's legit?
So we have to, they gave us very specific guidelines on documenting everything. So it was either pay $10,000 for them to fly somebody in from Guinness, or we have to record. So we have to record the whole performance. We have to keep a log of the audience members. We have to submit the scripts that we're doing. We have to get 2 people that are not affiliated with the organization to be independent witnesses and stopwatch operators. So yeah, there's as I said, they gave us, the instructions to a overly complicated tabletop game explaining all the things we could or could not do.
You ever watch those movies where someone escapes and the person didn't realize they were doing an escape, and then someone comes up that goes, "I helped you escape," and they give them directions, and it's you're gonna go down the street here, and then you're gonna take a left. You're like, "I got that." Then you're gonna go down 3/4 of a mile, and you take a right past the red barn. Got it. Then you find a man named George. You tell him that I sent you, right? Then he's going to take you over a small river, and you got to find someone else after that named Bobby and do this, right? Then you got to backtrack about 3/4 of a mile, take a hairpin turn to the left, but don't get caught doing this. The code is 675-834-6. I mean, like, and at this point, you're just like, I'm just going to just turn myself back in. I'm just going back.
Yeah, there was
way
definitely
too complicated. Right?
Yeah, it got
they lost after the second turn, and that's I'm like impressed with you with this because that's what I would feel like. It's like, all right. How are we going to do this? I gave up. We're not doing it. So, wow.
Yeah.
How did you stumble across this?
Again, like we were like, in the theater community, you've got to make a lot of noise to get people to see things, especially when you're not doing Mamma Mia and Grease. Or things like that. So we were just like, we need something that's going to get some attention. And we also were tying it into being a charitable endeavor. And as I said, like we saw, like, I think Recycled Percussion were like suspended in a cage 40 feet in the air, like all weekend to raise money for something. And we're like, world record. So yeah, again, like we just, was one of our people, I can't remember who, but it was just them online all weekend and then coming back on Monday and going, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we started telling people, and then we got the detailed instructions, and we're like, oh shit, well, stinks. We shouldn't have already told people. Yeah, so
that's how I feel after every single project I start. Like, oh crap, I told someone, now I have to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Mitch Fortier said last time he worked with Dan, I had to learn a 15-minute play in 6 hours. Yeah. Being a cat.
Yes.
It was fun. Now, I'm not ready to learn anything for 80 hours. We see. He said, being a cat. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Cats don't talk a lot. So.
For some reason, they do on stage.
Oh, okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. All right, and I didn't know how much interaction he had to do, with the cat thing, but I'm just so
that was that 24-hour play festival, which is like the most miserable fun you can ever have.
Yeah. You sound like a real treat. Like, this is so.
Yeah, no, it's great.
There's something about that. Like, for example, the short film we showed right before the screening is called The Artifact. When we filmed that, it was last year. Remember that really, really hot day that was on record as like one of the hottest days, I think, recorded? Mm-hmm. And there was like all warnings, like almost as much warnings as what we have recently.
Yeah.
Old people are just going to burst into flames and stuff like that. I mean, that type of thing. We went and climbed a mountain that day to film a fight scene. And to me, I thought that was the best thing we could do today. Everyone's like, this is, oh my God, it's a terrible day. We all got to stay inside and just soak ourselves in ice baths. I'm like, let's go outside and film a fight scene. Climb up a mountain on top of it with about a bunch of people who all of us are basically out of shape. Let's be honest. All right? None of us were prepared to go up one of the tiniest mountains in the known universe. All right. And I get that. I get that feeling of like just wanting to be a part of something that is really, really tough and just seeing it through to the end. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So, so tell everyone what they can, where they can find out more information about what you do, and if you got anything coming up on like the live stream or anything like that they can be a part of.
Yeah, sure. So our website is cztheater.com, and that's theater with an R-E. That has all the information about all of our projects, and then you can also, social media will probably have a little bit more detail. So for the summer, we've kind of switched gears. We're putting a lot more emphasis on we do a podcast about different things in theater. We're hoping to do some live streaming, reading some of the plays that New Hampshire playwrights have written, that will like read them, get feedback so the playwrights can work on things. And then we're hoping that COVID will be a little nicer in the fall, or at least, things would be better. And then we're doing, our main stage production will be Heathers the Musical. That'll go up in October. And then we're also launching a new program that we've called Shakespeare in the Ballpark. And we're going to be performing Romeo and Juliet in left field at the baseball stadium in Manchester, where the Fisher Cats play.
All right. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, Dan Pelletier, are you sticking around for the rest of the show?
Yeah, I got nothing better to do. I got nowhere to be.
Oh, I love that too. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for talking about it. Looking forward to hearing more about everything you got going on as the future goes on. Make sure you stay in touch. We got to go to break. When we come back, we're going to have news for you. So stick around.
Okay, now that we have a growing audience. Growing? Yes, YouTube subscribers. We've got like 2 subscribers in the past month. Okay, well, it's still growing, Dave. Anyways, we need to think about sponsors. Who would be interested in sponsoring us?
Restaurants.
Possibly.
Chain stores.
Unlikely.
The U.S. Army.
Why would the U.S. Army sponsor us?
Why would anyone sponsor us?
Because we're...
Dave, do we know anyone in the U.S. Army?
Yes, Matt. Matt was in the U.S. Army.
KJ, Matt got kicked out of the U.S. Army.
Right.
Right. Welcome back to the Early Late Night Live Show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, Early Late Night Live Show YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, for commenting. Continue to comment. Please continue to hit that thumbs up and the share button. Tim Tripp just said, just stick to Shakespeare. In terms of time, it'd be like 12 plays. So if they're done on a bridge. Yeah, probably, you know. Anyways, Arnie, this is the news segment. And Mitch Fortier is not here because Kate had him tied up in a basement. So it's on your shoulders.
Mitch, don't worry. You'll be rescued. And show must go on. That's why I'm here.
Show must go on. What do you got, Arnie?
All right. So just to give the Dan Graham in the back, I'm going to be out of order on these. So we're going to start with the UK has issued guidelines so that they can start filming again. So they've issued guidelines to the film industry that allows shows to start working again, which is great news for me because a whole bunch of my shows are on hold because of this whole COVID nonsense. But among the guidelines is a 15-page book that they gave all the filmmakers. Among the things that they were told to do is they want people to deliver scripts earlier. They want actors to pick up their own costumes, to do their own makeup, and put on their own microphones. They want to use floor markings to keep a 2-meter distance. And there's supposed to be a COVID-19 supervisor to make sure that the regulations are kept up.
So professional actors are now going to have to be like indie actors.
Yeah, exactly.
That they know their lines beforehand, show up on time, and get their own gear.
So, I just thought some of it was funny. Like they're asking people, please use green screens, don't actually go places, use local film crews so we don't have to bring people to different places. Change the script. But I was thinking like
the whole lower end market of actors are going to get a lot more work now, actually.
I know. But they also want the screenwriters to change the scripts so that they don't have to do like fight scenes or something like that. And I'm like, this is England. So a big romantic scene in England is 2 people across the room looking at each other. So this is going to be a piece of cake for them. Right?
They're not going to do fight scenes. Well, it's like, no. The entertainment industry's just gone out the window. We're done. You know.
But yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. Well,
you know, all I can think about is those old British television shows where they actually have no idea how to do fight scenes. And then you see a guy punch at a camera. And then you see another guy go, ooh, like this. They're going to be just filming like that again, you know?
Best fight scenes ever. Worst kicks.
It's going to be awesomely terrible. So, what else you got in the news, Arnie?
So, Wonder Woman 1984, which you all know is like, I'm super excited about that movie. Mm-hmm. That may be delayed again. It was supposed to be released, I think, last December. It was bumped to this year to allow more time for post-production. It may be bumped again because of Tenet. So it may actually be coming out in December instead of August because Tenet's release date is July 17th, and they're not sure they're actually going to be able to open. So, yeah.
Tenet being the new Christopher Nolan film.
Right, with with the new Batman in it, Robert Pattinson.
Yes. So, by the way, Kate, Dan, if you guys have a comment about any of these things, feel free to just raise your hand and jump in.
Cool.
Hopefully not these past 2 things. We're moving on to the next thing. All right, Arnie, what's the next thing we got in the news?
You know the series Batgirl that just came out?
Yes.
they had to shorten the season because of COVID-19, so they actually ended earlier than they expected. And they also had another setback. Ruby Rose, who plays Batgirl, is actually not coming back. I'm sorry, Batwoman is not coming back for the next season. She's decided to step out of the series.
And she got injured pretty badly, I think, too, during the stunt.
I think so. So, of course, this is just released. They're casting. So anybody who wants to be Batwoman, CW.
I'll email them. They'll never email me back.
Well, are you willing to cut your hair short as Ruby Rose? Okay.
For money, I'll shave my head. Whatever. Pay up, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I have not heard anything good about this series at all. The trailer, I remember the first time I saw the trailer, it didn't look all that bad, but then I was watching without sound. And then once I listened to it with sound, I realized this looks terrible. This looks and sounds just awful.
Yeah, because I remember I sent you the trailer. I was like, oh, Tara's going to rip into this. And your review was so mild. So I called you up afterwards and said, do you actually watch the trailer? You were like, yeah, without sound. Why? I'm like, watch it with sound.
Yeah, so I learned my lesson about that. Mitch Boyd says, Kate should be Batwoman so I can have my spot back. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
This happened. Either of those things.
Not happening. So yeah, I have not. I mean, wish Ruby Rose. I hope she's going to be okay health wise. I know I think she suffered a pretty bad injury. But hopefully she's going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, this is not surprising to me. I mean, this is like a female Ben Affleck situation that really most people, from my understanding, didn't like her or just didn't watch it. Now I really like Ben Affleck as Batman, but I'm a rare commodity. Except when it comes to Beyond Meat. Try it. You'll believe me. All right. Anyways. Arnie, what else we got in the news?
So I found a list of all the new movies that are being released on, streaming. That's the word I'm looking for, not virtually. So, like, for instance, the new Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob, with an exclamation point, which I was super excited about. You can actually watch it.
Made me laugh quite a bit watching the trailer.
Yeah, it's got Zac Efron and Amanda Seyfried in it. And it's on Vudu now and Google Play and Apple and Amazon, so I can get my Scooby-Doo fix. But I think they're going to post this link in the chat. But they have a whole bunch like Bloodshot and Call of the Wild. All of these movies are being released early, and so you can stream them. But they also have Fantasy Island that you can stream now. So I'm going to be able to watch that.
And you want to see that. So
I think I'm the only person in America that wanted to see that. So yes, I am very excited.
Let me see.
Call of the Wild. Remember the dog? I remember because I was on your show when we were watching the trailer for that, and everyone was freaking out about the dog. I mean, especially me. I don't know why they didn't use a real dog, but I'll watch it if it's free.
Yeah.
Well, I heard something that I guess almost the entire movie was shot in like Santa Barbara, and I was like,
Santa Barbara doesn't look like Alaska.
No, come on,
dramatic for me.
I'm like, Harrison Ford doesn't want to travel anymore, or something like that. I don't know what's going on. And so that made me have like really no desire to see the film at all. It's like, if I wanted to watch a 1950s Disney version of Alaska, I'd watch a 1950s Disney version of Alaska. At least it wasn't green screen. It was just California rivers, So, all right. So what else we got in the news, Arnie?
Okay, so the last bit of news that I have is my favorite bit of news. That's why I saved it for last. If you like Lord of the Rings and if you like taking baths, there is a line of Lord of the Rings rubber duckies, so you can bring Middle Earth to your tub.
Wait, can you say that again, please?
There is a Lord of the Rings line of rubber duckies, so you can bring Middle Earth to your tub.
It's the way you say duckies. Rubber duckies.
Rubber duckies. Yep.
So what you're telling me is Arnie, I think you know this. Hannah's a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Yes.
Like a big Lord of the Rings fan. Like,
me
we
too.
drove all the way down to New York to see things that was written by J.R.R. Tolkien.
Wow.
All right?
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure J.R.R. Tolkien's probably like spinning in his grave. Like,
right. And so now these links are in the, I'm assuming they're in the Google file, right?
Yes.
Because now this means, and I don't know if you're watching tonight's episode, I have to buy these for her.
I believe they're on Amazon. Amazon has everything, but But yeah, so there's Frodo, Gandalf. I can't remember the elf name. Oh my god.
Legolas.
Legolas. Yeah. God, I'm so terrible.
Legolas.
But anyway, these just made me giggle when I saw them. I was actually watching a show with my sister and my mom, and scrolling through my phone. I just started giggling, and they thought I was having like a fit when I found it. I was just laughing so hard.
Rubber duckies.
And when I told them what I was laughing at, my sister was like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
There's so much Lord of the Rings gear, swag, stuff on Amazon, and I know for a fact because I own all of it.
Well, according to Hannah, every time we go into a store and we see a Star Wars thing, she just looks at me and goes, "You're so spoiled." It's Harry Potter and there's Star Wars everywhere, but there's not enough Lord of the Rings things as far as she's concerned.
She should consider herself blessed because, like, when there is more stuff, you're gonna buy it.
It's true.
I buy so much crap I don't need. I need like to get a second apartment to keep my fandom things.
Agreed.
Like
here.
I mean, she's gonna look at me and go, "It's Lord of the Rings," you know, and that's what I'm thinking right now. So I better be making a good thing. I've been working extra hours because I've got to purchase a bunch of ducks.
You know, there's something to be said for being a super fan like that because nobody ever really has to struggle to get me a Christmas present because they all know if it's Captain America, I'll want it.
Pretty much.
If it's a rubber duck, I'll want it.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of an obsession. Me and Arnie have a love for ducks because you know, ducks are just the best. There's just nothing else to it. They're the best. All right. Anyways, we gotta cut the break. When we come back, we'll have the last segment of the show where we show a little bit of what's inside our hearts and our apartments. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
I wish someone would come up with a new idea for the show.
Seriously, Terry, I think we should start talking about politics on the show.
Seriously, Mitch, I think we should start talking about your position on the show.
Seriously, I'm gonna go. Competitive game.
Competitive, get out.
Got it. Sports!
No, Dave.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Steve. Go home.
Going.
Story time. You've changed now.
So, Terry. Why are you not in the sketch?
Sketch, where are you?
No, but I did sound on it.
Yeah.
I think we're back.
Oh. Welcome back to the Early Late Night Live Show. Cheers. On every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Extra Channel 98. And just so everyone knows, this is just iced tea. And I found this nice glass, and I don't know where I got it from, in all honesty, but it's in my apartment. So this is not my specialty thing. It's just a glass I found. I think I stole it from my old landlord. But anyways, this is a segment of the show. Huh?
You know Steve watches the show occasionally.
I do know Steve watches the show, yes. So, Steve, you recognize this. You're not getting it back, but it doesn't matter. This is a segment of the show where we show a little something special from our homes, as long as it comes with a little bit of a story. So, Dan, did you bring anything?
I did. I got an email last minute telling me to do this. I ran downstairs and grabbed the first thing that seemed interesting. So this has a Q0 tie-in. So as I said, the first ever Q0 show was a night of original one acts. And mine was actually a re-envisioning of my senior project from college. And I'm a big professional wrestling fan. So my play was actually about a pro wrestler. And this is the, hold on, let me unblur. This is the Dangerous Wrestling Federation championship belt that was used in the play. The Dangerous Wrestling Federation was my backyard wrestling federation growing up. We were, though, like a parody of backyard wrestling. Like, we called it the Dangerous Wrestling Federation, but we were using, like, the dollar store turkey pans and, not actually like ketchup and things because we liked, we liked being goofy and comedic. But yeah, so this has a lot of importance to me because, again, it is that. And then There was the first ever Q0 show. And like, it was I liked that, you know, a lot of people had a really good response to the piece. And they're like, I never thought I could like a dramatic play about professional wrestling. You know, at the end of the day, it was more about like the life of the artist and like the sacrifices you have to make when you really love what you are doing. But yeah, so that's what I grabbed right off my shelf.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, Kate Eppers, did you bring something?
I did. I almost swapped it out for Lord of the Rings stuff, but I'll show you that later.
All right.
So I have a bunch of magnets because, well, one of the things is I like to, you know, we all love, I think everyone here loves to travel. You guys have been all over the world and everything. And I love to get a magnet wherever I go. And sometimes I have a lot of magnets if I go back to the same place. And we just got a new fridge, so I have a whole bucket of magnets because I need to put them back on the new fridge. But one of my favorite places, if you know me, obviously, is Israel. And I'm a little bit obsessed, just as obsessed as Lord of the Rings, probably as I am with Israel. But I have this. If you can, I hope it can come in clear.
You disappeared.
Well, it's your background thingy.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah.
So
wow, this is like a game. Like to try and...
Let me try one more time.
There you go.
Well, it's a magnet.
I like it.
It says Yerushalayim. Actually, no, it says Jerusalem, but in Hebrew it's Yerushalayim. And it just has I guess an Israelite on a camel, but it's just a cool magnet. I don't know what trip I've got this on, but I've been 4 times, and the last time was last year. So, but anyway, yeah, Israel is the coolest. And I recommend, after the pandemic, go to Israel when you want to go on vacations again, and it's awesome.
I think my brother Rory was recently there before this whole thing.
He was, and I met him for the first time. Obviously, it was on the set of Early Late Night Live Show, and he came up to me and he said, "Listen, I heard you love Israel." I went, "Oh my God!" And I felt bad. I talked his poor ear off for probably forever, and I was so excited. And I even was texting him when because we connected on social media, and I followed him through his whole trip, and we even were messaging, and I'm going, "Oh my God, I told him all this stuff, and he was so excited. And that's
well, I'm not sure if I would bring back a magnet, but I'm realizing now through all my traveling that I haven't brought back souvenirs, and so I'm trying to think of what's the souvenir thing I'm gonna be bringing back, because I do want to start doing it, because I never really appreciated having a little special something from there, you know. But speaking about special something, she is a special something.
Aww.
All right, and usually she has something cuddly. Cute, cuddly, and stolen. Is like, you know, pilfered or like borrowed, like around her room. And so, tell me, Arnie, what have you got this time around?
Well, this is a little different. This is something dumb.
Okay, all right.
So So last Christmas, right around Christmas time, I met a little boy who was obsessed with dinosaurs. And when I was a kid, I was obsessed with dinosaurs too. So we were talking about.
You saw Jurassic Park.
Yeah. And I was terrified, and I went off with dinosaurs. But anyway, so we were talking about our favorite dinosaurs. And afterwards, I went to a toy store, and I saw rubber dinosaurs like this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, you know what? I'll get him a dinosaur. And I read the labels, and I thought they were $15 each. I thought, oh, well, I'll get him a T-Rex and a Triceratops. So I grabbed both because he liked T-Rex, and my favorite's Triceratops. And I went up to the counter, and it turned out I'd misread the label. So I spent about $70 on two.
Wow.
Oh my.
So I thought, now I was too embarrassed to put one back because I was just like, I didn't want to act like I didn't have $70. So I thought, well, I'll give him the T-Rex and I'll return this another time when the guy behind the counter isn't there anymore. Only I forgot. So now I own a $30 dinosaur.
I hope it's well taken care of. Better than the original dinosaurs.
He's very much loved because, again, I was too embarrassed to admit that this was a little over my spending budget for a little boy I just met.
With no relation to you at all.
No, Ari just pulled up in her van and was offering them candy and toys, you know.
Arnie Claus.
Arnie Claus.
Sweet.
So, that's my story. Always lingering in the background because I do in landscape ever since Renee told me I did things wrong. Okay. So this right here, okay?
Okay.
And lean back.
Oh, yeah.
This is a poster, okay, for the second feature film I made called, if you can read it, Running on Empty. All right? Now,
I played a psycho in that.
yes, all right? Now, it's not a very good movie, as movies go, but honestly, it was almost always very well received because it was a lot of fun. The movie taught me a real lot, and I had a bunch of posters made up, and one of the times I was making the poster, a friend of mine was working at the Staples I was getting made up at, and she's looking at the poster. She didn't know that I made movies. She said, "What the hell is this?" And yes, and then she ended up getting a part in the movie. So that was it. So yeah, so that is my little thing that I have there. I've got a couple of my movie posters here. Matter of fact, I just released a new one for Not That Guy. It's a test one on the Narrow Street Films Facebook page. A lot of people giving it like thumbs up and whatnot, so which is good. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Right now, we're working on a special edition DVD release of Not That Guy, and we have to get a whole bunch of posters made up. I was talking with DVD printers and Blu-ray printers. I'm trying to decide between DVD and Blu-ray. So if anyone's got an idea of what they would prefer, leave a comment. Let us know. What would you prefer, DVD or Blu-ray? There is, and I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to pull this off. I am working on a very rare release of Not That Guy, for those of you who have seen it. Kate, I don't know if you've seen Not That Guy.
Of course. When I saw it, I was messaging, this is a while ago, but I was messaging Arnie as I was watching it, and I'm going, this is so funny. This is so cute. I'm going to rewatch it so I can see all the stuff I missed, but you guys did an amazing job with that. I love that one.
Oh, thank you. So I want to do a special release, limited release on VHS. That's what I want to do. Come on. Just because I want to get the poster design, because I grew up looking and going to Video Update or Blockbuster or whatever it was at the time and looking at all the cool VHS cassette tapes. And this movie was based off of the movies that I grew up watching. So I think it deserves a VHS copy. A limited edition release of the VHS copy, which means I got to make it in square frame and I got to make some cheesy previews beforehand too. So,
oh my God, I want in on that.
Be kind, please rewind.
Oh
be
yeah.
kind, please rewind. Yes. So you know, so that's something. Actually, Dan, the Video Update used to go to is right in Derry. The one that's used to be, I think it's where Five Guys is now in Derry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was, I know where you're talking, but I was, if you're going to say even older, my dad actually owned an independent video rental store, but this was 1992. I have no recollection of it. There are pictures of me in it, but conversely though, we still have some of the things that didn't sell when they went out of business. So if you need 4 copies of Gone with the Wind on VHS, my parents' basement.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. You know, I think there's something special about that experience growing up watching VHS and the little zzz in the thing before it went, before it started up, you had that little fuzzy section of the film. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I'm working on it right now, getting a proper build up. Anyways, after this whole COVID-19 thing, I should have a lot more time to start working on stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. Anyways, we're going to wrap up this show. This has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this show. I hope you guys have too. If you did not notice my rant at the beginning, maybe you lucked out. If you did, stick to my rant at the beginning, then I'm surprised you watched the whole show. So, my bit of word of advice to everyone out there is if something is pretending to be something it's not, it's probably best just to leave it alone. So.
Maybe you guys will give me $15 for the...
That does not include actors. Actors are not pretending to be something they're not. Anyways, Arnie, any final words for the audiences?
Thank you for watching. Tune in next time. We'll have Eric Tamburino, who just released a new book. So,
my old buddy Eric. All right, Dan Pelletier. Last word.
Check us out. Follow Q0. I'm wearing the T-shirt, so just search CZTQ0 on all of your social media. Thank you guys. This is the most fun I've had in a long time.
Oh, awesome. I love having you on the show. Can't wait to have you in the real studio.
Yes.
All right. And Kate Eppers, final words of wisdom to our audience members.
Just take a deep breath and just go for it. Whatever you're doing, just go for it.
Go for it. All right, folks. Be adventurous, be fun, and, risk being safe sometime. It happens. Cheers. We're out of here.
Hey, thanks for watching the Early Late Night Live Show. We are on every Wednesday night live at Exeter Studios in Exeter, New Hampshire, 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. Please make sure to join us next week for more entertainment, comedy, and information that is probably not that important or timely. But no sports and no politics, so there's that. To find out more about my film company, make sure to check out NarrowStreetFilms.com. To find out more about Killarney's writing, make sure you check out KillarneyTraynor.com. To find out more about Mitch and his acting, I'm sure he's got a website. I keep forgetting the name of it. I'll write it down here. To find out more about the wonderful studio that we produce at Exeter Studio, go to exeternh.tv. They're a great studio and they're doing a lot of cool things. But please make sure to like us on Facebook, and please, please, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell and like, and make sure that you share with your friends and enemies alike, because we don't judge that much. See you next week.